Do cheeky frogs, cat loafs, and day job stress relief have to do with creativity? Find out on this month's episode of the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast. I'm Katie Silverwings.
And I'm Allie of Allie D Art.
And we are happy to be here at the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast.
Woohoo!
And we've got a special new guest to share with y'all.
Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so excited. My bestie, my girl, Alex Logan.
Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hey everyone.
Woo! I don't know who all has met this wonderful lady, but she has been my table partner at so many conventions, and now she is branching out onto her own business.
Yes.
We're going to learn more about it very soon.
So, Alex, would you like to just introduce yourself to our audience?
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Logan, creator of CC's Cozy Corner. It is all about chill vibes, lots of stitching, and some time later, some art. A little bit about me. I've been in the Memphis area for about 8-9 years now. Didn't think I could be creative with my current profession, which I have nothing against, obviously. But it's thanks to people like Allie and Katie and many other friends around the Memphis community that inspired me to pick it up and try it again.
Awesome. So, Allie, do you want to ask our first question?
I would love to. All right. So question number 1, how did you get started in crochet that then led to CC's Cozy Corner? Because you are a very talented crochet artist, but you had to start somewhere. How did you get started?
So, starting with crochet was interesting for me because even as a child, I gave up on it. When you're growing up and even when the internet was still growing, you don't have the sorts of resources that you would have now to teach someone who is left-handed. So every time I had an opportunity to learn how to crochet, I couldn't do it because everyone was teaching with the right hand and I couldn't mirror it. And then fast forward to about September of last year, my sister-in-law contacts me and asks me, hey, can you make a wig for a Cabbage Patch Kid costume?
A Cabbage Patch Kids costume. Was this for her?
No, this was for my niece, my baby niece, who was definitely not a baby anymore. But I said, yeah, I could figure it out. And I had no idea what I was doing because I looked up Cabbage Patch Kids. I was like, oh, right, they're yarn. And I didn't know where I could go with that. I contacted a very close friend of mine who got me into cosplay, and she said, try using crochet. And then I froze up and said, oh no, I don't know how.
Uh-oh.
So early October, I scrambled to find a course on learning how to crochet. And thankfully this course taught left-handed and right-handed.
Awesome.
So once I started to figure that all out and learn all the motions, basic stitches, something in me just clicked. And I was just able to fire off the wig pretty quickly, and I got a test-based hat part of the wig sent off, and everything fit, and then I made the full wig. And then fast forward a couple months later, for Christmas, I decided to make a giant strawberry for my niece because I know she likes strawberries.
Aww.
And my brother was so impressed seeing both of these. He's like, you picked this up quick. You should probably sell this. And then I was just sitting around doing some stuff, and my own roommate, they said, are you sure you don't want to sell this stuff? You're doing really good. And then Allie here's like, you really should sell your stuff. So I was like, okay, 3 people are telling this. Maybe that's a sign.
And then Allie had, at the next event they were both at, every single one of us other artists clustered around her saying, yes, this is pretty. We want to see you. Come be a fellow artist with us.
Alex.
So we're so happy that you decided to follow the peer pressure on that.
This is a time that peer pressure is a good thing. Also, I love that, like, a theme I'm seeing in your story is that you made all of this, you got your start by wanting to give to others.
And that's one personal thing that I have, and one thing you will see on my logo, I did put a verse I think was very important to me for that. That would be 1 Peter 4:8-10, which is to give and to be hospitable to others and to use your gifts to glorify God and others.
Awesome.
So I think that is like the perfect adage for someone who is going into creative. Doesn't matter if it's crochet or cross stitching or fine arts, whatever you're going into, do it to uplift others.
I love that. That's so cool.
So that's how you got your start. So our second question that we always ask.
Well, I hope you don't mind. I added in a little sub question on top of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have not been told about the sub question. Do surprise us with the sub question.
It's okay. It's not terribly wild. It is just tell us about your creative process when you start a new crochet project.
So with crocheting, at least starting out, it is interesting because you see people who are more like well established and can create patterns with relative ease, can sell them and put tutorials up on YouTube. But when you're starting out with crochet, I would say the best thing to do, and something I usually have, is just look around and see what speaks to you. See what you want to make. So one of the examples I did and still do are these adorable little low sew little bodies that can be formatted to make any of the Pokemon Eevee and its respective evolutions. And I looked at that and looked at the size of it, and I was thinking, I can make that into a keychain, because the actual original pattern doesn't have it as a keychain. It's just a little tiny doll or a slightly bigger one, depending on your yarn thickness. And I looked up how to just make a quick chain to make something into a keychain, and I just modified it a bit, and boom, you have a keychain for you.
Now, I have to share, with those little evolution keychains, you sold them or gave them. Did you give or sell them to my nephew?
I gave them to him because they were insistent on buying another one of my items, and with the money that they had, and I'm still wishing you guys did not pay for it. I would have made it for them free of charge. With another one of the items, they were just so interested in them, and I just said, yeah, just take them. I can make another one. No big deal.
So I bring that up because this weekend I was watching after my little nephews, right? And they got out their pencil bags. And do you know what was on said pencil bag?
Yay!
A little Flareon. There's a little Flareon on that pencil bag. I was like, hey, I know who made that. So your work is very cherished in my family, along with another certain cheeky frog that we all know and love.
Yeah, I was giggling uncontrollably when I saw this pattern. I said, I have to make this.
Needless to say, we will be posting up some pictures of the awesome crochet things that we're talking about, so that y'all who are listening can see what we're talking about.
Y'all have to see the cheeky frog. It's her bestseller for a reason. Okay, so now I'll move on to question 2. Thank you for humoring my little sub question.
It was a good sub question. We may have to keep that one.
Nailed it. Anyway, so question 2 is, where does creativity come into running a crochet business?
Again, starting out, as I said before, you're usually not going to be able to make a pattern. It's going to take a lot more technical work for that. So when you're looking around for starting on what do you want to crochet, again, do what speaks to you. I've seen a lot of various crochet artists within the Mid-South community at various conventions, and I look at their items, and some of them I'm thinking, yeah, I would love to make something like that. And there's other ones that was just like, it's not my cup of tea. And I would probably use the Cheeky Frogs again as an example for this. It just spoke to me because it made me laugh. Something as simple as saying something that inspires you just on a simple level, saying it made you laugh, or I can do something a little extra with this, or I can take this and make something really beautiful out of it, or I just want to give it to someone. Anything can spark inspiration and creativity. And I think that is the central thing for getting started with crochet. And I would also recommend with creative stuff with crochet, don't start with a big project. Just start small and build yourself up.
As a fellow crocheter, I have to agree with that because I came at it from the, I want to make this or I want to make that. I may have somewhere around here I think my dad's got it. I made some different Afghans and stuff for that. And if you want to learn basic stitches, that's the approach to it. But they also take forever. And that's the cool thing about crochet is that it is a thing that humans make with their hands. Machines can knit, machines can't crochet yet.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever see something that looks crocheted in mass in a store, no, that's not true.
No, it is crochet. It's just
Is it?
there's somebody who's crocheted it.
Really?
It's not like knitted fabrics can be made on a knitting machine.
Okay.
But because of the complexity of crochet and all of the different motions you have to make with your hands and catching the correct loops and things,
Oh, okay.
there is not yet a robot that can imitate what a crocheter like Alex can do. So any crocheted item that you see, a human somewhere has made that.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not a crocheter. The most I have done is I knitted a little blanket thing that became very small, so I stuck it on my BB-8 figurine. And I also tried felting for the first time last night. It didn't look too bad. You could tell what it was. So
Hey.
I have a lot to learn from y'all.
But with needle arts, you just want to start with smaller projects. Amigurumi, which is just the overarching term for crochet plushies, are a good place to start because you can make a lot of small ones, or you can adjust the size of a large one to make a small one. And you will be surprised the stuff you can just make out of just learning how to make a simple sphere.
And now, going back to your business, because you mentioned the Bible verse that you had as part of your branding and everything. I'm curious. Your colors are like blue and yellow, right? How did you choose those colors?
Okay, so this is going to go into why it is called CC's Cozy Corner. That is shorthand for my online handle, Chaos Chow, and for all you Sonic the Hedgehog fans out there. But Chow are absolutely adorable, and I've loved them since I was a child. The colors of the light blue and the yellow are pretty much your basic neutral Chow, and I figured that would be a good contrast to pop out and tell people, hey, this is a fun place.
So once again, your business is inspired by what brings you joy, things that make you smile.
And now y'all can see why we brought Alex on the podcast, because we are all about joy in the creative corner.
Yes.
That is our thing.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to question 3.
Actually, before you move on to question 3, I have one other question.
We got another sub question.
Yes, we have another sub question, because without going into detail about what you do day to day, do you find, how does having a creative outlet like this apply to somebody in your line of work? Which, for the sake of, we shall just simply say that Alex works for one of the large corporations that is based in Memphis, and leave it at that.
And she's darn good at her job, too. Let me tell you.
Coming from that being your day job, is the creative outlet of your business helpful with that?
Sometimes I definitely have those days where I'm just like, I gotta bring some crochet to work. I gotta get my mind off of things. I'll do it on my lunch break. But there are other times where it's like sometimes right now we're in the holiday season for my department. Things are a bit slow on the slower side. So sometimes I can just sit down and just like, I got a minute, I can look at some crochet patterns, get some ideas.
I figured you were going to say something like that, because the phenomena of crocheters and knitters in odd places is not something I am unfamiliar with.
Oh, I've got an even crazier thing. 2 of my coworkers actually commissioned me earlier this year.
Oh, awesome.
Can we share those pictures too?
If Alex has those pictures to share with us, we'll add those to our list of things to share. I mean, but what I was... shout out to anyone who suffered through being enchanters at McMurray with me, including our lovely choir director who let me get away with knitting while we were in rehearsals. Being able to memorize music really fast helps. Nice. But getting to the fact that you're allowed to crochet at your desk when you don't have other things to do, and that, do you also find that just that rhythmic motion helps calm down everything else, because that's one of the things I've always found with it is once you get over the I hate crochet, it is so hard, I am mad at this yarn and I want to throw it across the room stage of learning, it's very, I find, calming.
Extremely calming. And I am an anxious mess. I am full on ball of anxiety. So having crochet helps mitigate that a lot. Doesn't always mitigate it. Mental health is its own thing, but it does help.
Yeah, it's like it's a productive fidget toy.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I tried doing felting last night, because I got like some wool or whatever, and I get to stab it over and over and over again.
Well, you're gonna have to show us what the result was.
I will show you. Maybe I can put that picture. I did a thing.
Yes, and I'm jealous because I can't play with felt anymore because I'm allergic to wool.
Oh,
So I had to give up my felting things.
Oh, you can do so many other things.
Yeah,
so
it's like, oh, how
you're
sad.
good.
I had to surrender one set of grass
darn.
but I look forward to seeing your felting, and I may have some tips and things for you.
Good. Yes, please.
So what's the next question we have for Alex, now that we've gone off on our lovely yarny tangent?
A yarn, if you will. Okay. Okay, so question 3. What keeps you coming back to crochet and your business? Like, what keeps you coming back for more?
well, you already brought up one of them. It's relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
I can just sit down, put anything on. I usually put like a rerun of a show or a let's play I've already listened to, because I don't necessarily need to focus on it. But having some noise in the background and just going through that motion, it is very relaxing. And as for the business side of things, honestly, it's just the excitement of experiencing conventions in a new light. I've been able to do so for almost 2 years now, thanks to Allie. It's just been awesome, because one day she asked me after church, hey, you want to help me at a con? And I gave her the expression of, what? And I immediately told her, I'm usually on the other side buying things. I don't know how this works.
So Alex basically became my unpaid intern. I tried to pay you, but
She paid me once, but that was legit. That was a
thing.
legitimate reason. So
But suffice it to say, your work experience at Allie's table, which is usually one of the most popular tables in
Aw,
any given
shucks.
artist alley, because it is sparkly and has everything you could imagine. I'm assuming that helped you get ready to present your own work.
absolutely. The first convention I did do this year, though, don't get me wrong, I was extremely nervous, because it was just like, okay, this is actually my stuff this time.
was that the one that I threw that at you at the last second? Or are you talking about MCFC?
Covington.
Oh, Covington, right.
So I was just
See,
like,
she's already done too many. I can't even keep track anymore.
so it's just like, I got in. Oh, it's
Oh,
coming
no.
up. Oh no. The nerves definitely started hitting. And it's really funny how you have to just go into a different mode when you are selling yourself versus selling someone else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
rather interesting on that regard. And it is something not just creative from a creative perspective, but from a professional perspective. It's an art. You have to just practice it. I know everyone tells you, oh, pitch yourself, sell yourself. Don't feel bad if you can't immediately. It just takes time to figure that out.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I feel like doing these shows and selling yourself along with what you brand, like what you make, it is a journey of self-discovery, to use that kind of cliche term. It really is, because you start out with like just kind of your basic setup, and over time it evolves as you evolve. Like, I look back at some of my first tables I ever set up, and it had like no personality, and it was just kind of, here it is, buy it if you want. But now it's like, and you're doing this as well with your table. Katie, you've done this so well with your table. I've done it with my table, that it just becomes a reflection of who you are. It becomes basically like, you can look at someone's table and be like, that is their personality out on that display.
And with Alex, it's just like with Allie's and mine, it's that, ooh, this one is sparkly. And with Alex, it's like, oh, it's sparkly and cozy. I want to go touch the plushes.
I want to squish them all.
Yeah, I just like, no, that's not to say I like everything soft per se, but I like cozy and chill vibes. So, of course, that is subjective depending on the person, but it comes out for me with a lot of cute plushies.
Yeah, but I mean, yours are the kind of plushies that young me would have happily made a nest out of. But pay no attention to the piles of stuffed animals strewn around the recording space.
We love stuffed animals.
Yes.
But going back to what this question is about, so part of what brings you back to the cons is the getting to actually share your stuff with people and
Absolutely.
see how excited people are when they have acquired one of your things. And it's always exciting. It was really exciting for me, and I think it probably was for Allie too at MCFC this year, because our two tables were next to each other and then Alex was behind Allie. So every now and again we would have somebody come by and it's like, oh, one of Alex's plushies got adopted and this person is wagging it around like it's their favorite thing.
I remember when we were at Covington, someone came by my table holding one of the cheeky frogs, and you would have thought this thing was made of pure gold the way that she was loving it. She was like squishing it and making it bounce all over. And I had to come out because, of course, I had to come brag on you. So I came out. I was like, oh my gosh, you got one of the cheeky frogs. And she's like, I got a cheeky frog. And I'm like, yes. So we were like having a party over your cheeky frogs.
I will say, even if people don't buy the cheeky frog, I always love it because 9 times out of 10, the reaction is they just bust out laughing.
Right? I actually have, because you gifted me a cheeky frog, I have it in my room placed perfectly so that he's facing out into the room, but then he's sitting in front of a mirror so I can see what's behind the cheeky frog. His cute little booty. I have to celebrate what makes this cheeky frog so adorable and hilarious.
Again, there will be pictures.
Yes.
We will definitely have some cute little cheeky frog pictures. Actually, Allie, take a picture of your cheeky frog.
Yes.
With the mirror, and that's the one we'll post up. I think that'll be perfect because it's the cheeky frog and it's in its forever home.
Oh.
So, is there anything else that keeps you coming back to this? Or
I think because of the fact that with your time of year and the constant events that and where you're going to be, you constantly have to, and just like with art, you have to switch up what you're doing to some degree to kind of match a clientele. So take, for example, the next market we are doing is going to be the Board of Beers Sip and Shop, weather permitting.
Okay, just a note for everyone listening to this. We are recording this the week of Thanksgiving 2025. Hello, people in the future in January of 2026 who are listening to us. Just so you know, we do pre-record some of these episodes.
Happy Thanksgiving
So
in
Alex
January.
is talking about a wonderful event that is in our future and your past.
Hope you were there.
But I did have to plug this event in particular because the clientele is likely going to be a bit different than what you would find as a convention, because that's more of just widespread, everybody, all ages. Most of the clientele you're going to be seeing at this are going to be mostly people who are more into tabletop gaming. So I decided to shift a little bit and decided, okay, I'm going to go a little more all in on one of my other items, which are these drawstring bags that are designed to look like dragon scales. And
those are awesome.
And they're really good for carrying dice. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a lot more of those and I'm going to sell those and I'm going to give them a special rate.
You know, something, Alex, I love about you and how your mind works is that you're already thinking so logically about the conventions and like your demographics and what's going to work. You're very strategic, because I wish I would have been more like you when I started out. I was like, I want to just draw Pokemon, and I just only drew Pokemon for the longest time. Nothing wrong with Pokemon, but you're already thinking in advance of like, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to make this for this demographic. I'm going to make this for them. You have a very strong business mind, which goes so well with your creativity, because you make business creative, and that is something you really need for making a small business.
Well, I learned from the best.
Oh,
Yeah,
who could that be?
And I do think I'm
the
kind of jealous that you got. I had some background in events and different things from everything I've helped Dr. Hinton with over the years that y'all heard about in our first episode, which go listen to if you haven't listened to it already. But you got to have a 2-year internship where you got to not only be at a table and learn to sell things, but also observe everything and identify what works here and there. And anybody out there who is looking at joining us in the convention world or the market world and being a creative business person, go to some of these shows before you start signing up to be a vendor at them and make sure that you're ready for what you're stepping into.
And don't be afraid to ask vendors questions about this. Go up. Most of us, we're very friendly. We want to talk. We want to share our knowledge. There's no gatekeeping here. We want to welcome you into our community. So come up, ask us, like, just any questions that you have. Like, hey, how'd you get started? How do you do this? What can you suggest for me? That's really just such a good way to learn, is to become engaged in the community.
And I would say my advice is whatever you make something that you would want to have. Don't, like, sure, you might want to have some popular stuff there, and that's all fine. But make stuff primarily you would want to buy, and then let that speak for itself.
And make stuff that you are perfectly comfortable having sitting around staring at you if it doesn't sell at your very first event. Because some things, like my lovely space whales, will hang out at your table for months before the person you made it for shows up. And that actually leads into that is our next question,
basically,
I think, which is, what advice do you have for other creatives?
Okay, well, that's my first piece of advice. Whether they're coming
into the business side of things, or whether it's just in the create things, or just people who want to add some creativity and yarn to their life. You're allowed to give whatever advice you like here.
Bring it on, come on.
Okay, well, like I said, that from a business perspective, make what you would want to buy. Like, I will use Allie as an example. She pretty much runs on nostalgia. She just says, I like this series. I'm going to make art out of it. I don't care if anyone will buy it. I just want to make it.
I mean, she runs on nostalgia in general. You have to admit that while we are sitting here talking, Allie, would you like to describe what's on your t-shirt and where you got it?
I would love to, because I am wearing a shirt. We'll have to post a picture.
We will post a picture of Allie in this shirt up for y'all, because this is the perfect example of a creature who runs on nostalgia and joy. My fellow butter squirrel, explain your shirt.
Gladly. So, if y'all have seen my table, I make my own shirts. I take my artwork, I make them into what's called a DTF transfer that goes heat press onto a shirt. Basically, I make really bright, colorful, happy shirts. And so I'm wearing a prototype of one that I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring to my table, because it's gotten such a good response.
Especially now that in January, everyone's going to hear about this and see this shirt. You had better be bringing it to your table.
Oh, I'm bringing it. So I am a huge fan of the Muppets. I love Muppets. I basically am a Muppet. So I have a shirt featuring the one and only Rizzo the Rat, and he is holding up some pizza, and underneath it, so he's looking all happy with his pizza. So underneath Rizzo, it says, "Risen."
So basically, this is a perfect example of what to expect from a butter squirrel who runs on nostalgia. As you were saying, Alex, with your examples of the make stuff you love.
But just make stuff you love. That's kind of why I just went on ahead and just decided to call myself CC's Cozy Corner. It's just like, well, I like Chow. Why not just integrate that in there and just be legally distinct? I don't want to get in trouble, Sega.
No, hey, I brought up the Muppets, so I think we're good here.
Hey, I named myself after the hawk in Quest for Camelot, so I think you're fine.
So we're all bringing in things that we love into our businesses. We're not saying like, hi, I'm Allie the Pokemon trainer, but we're saying like, hey, I'm inspired by this. I'm inspired by Muppets. You're inspired by Chow's. You know, it's like, it brings us joy, so we're going to share it in our own special way.
I said this earlier, inspiration can come in from anywhere. Just use stuff you like, or just stuff that just suddenly comes to mind. Like, I remember a couple of kids who like really liked Cheeky Frogs, and they were just like, do you make axolotls? And I was just like,
axolotls.
Oh, okay, I can make those.
Please do.
That is the fun with crochet too. Once you've got your basic amigurumi stitches down, and have practiced with your spheres enough to learn how to morph them, you can make anything your little heart desires, and it will be cozy and wonderful.
And go for it.
Sorry. I think one of my favorite things too is when you make something that brings you joy and you kind of take that leap of faith to share it at your table or on your website or wherever you share your art, and you find your people that love it too. So like with my fellow Muppet fans, I was like, okay, I might, just put out a couple of Muppets or something. And they've become one of my best sellers. So now I've seen that nostalgia works so well. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share, like, something I'm working on now is Code Lyoko fan art. Does anyone know? Oh, I'm getting a high five.
Please don't high five so loudly when we're recording.
Oh,
Have mercy upon the poor audio person.
Sorry, microphone. Forgive us, Mike. Soft high five.
Much better.
Thank you.
So you're the bring your joy, make what you love.
Yeah. And I would even say, even with the patterns you have, even if you have to just follow the pattern instructions, don't be afraid to just do something silly with it. So many of you, if you've seen enough crocheters, you've probably seen loaf cats. Pretty common thing. I remember I was in Michael's one day just looking at some yarn, and I see this faux fur yarn.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
And I'm just like, I'm going to make that into a giant fluffy jumbo loaf cat because I feel like it.
Please tell me there's going to be pictures of this thing because I've not got to see it.
Did I not send them? I thought I did. Okay,
Well,
I've taken them.
I am not the person who receives the email, so I have not seen the pictures yet.
I may need to check back on those pictures and I send some more. But yeah, that one, I am very happy with how that one turned out. And I will say one thing though, and as a bit of advice, another piece of advice for upcoming crocheters, use yarn that you can actually see the stitches in when you get started. Because, oh goodness, this was actually a bit of an insurmountable task for a while for me on this one.
So coming from my background with fiber arts and things, the secret to working with the eyelash yarn or the faux fur yarn is that you have a second strand of plain yarn held together with it. So that then you're making the stitch with both yarns. It bulks it up faster. You still get the texture, but you can also see what you're doing. So
I will definitely
extra
remember
tip
that
for everyone listening.
But because that's an extra tip, because don't be like me and having to just and just like
She's looking very closely, at her
and
needles.
feeling very carefully for the next stitch so I don't skip one.
Because it's the difference between for those of you who have not experienced the pain that is trying to work with faux fur yarn, it's the difference between working with yarn that is the width of a pencil, like we do for most crochet animals and things, and working with yarn that's about the width of a necklace chain.
Oh dear.
And is so fluffy that you cannot see the stitches.
But it's still worth it. Work through your aggravation. And I think that brings us pretty nicely with the talk of animals and things to our final question as we are coming up towards our time limit for the episode.
Yes.
You're going to like our final question. It is right up your alley.
Right.
It is, and I cannot wait to hear your answer. This is always our favorite question. I will stop clapping into the microphone. So, if you've seen our little logo, you'll see that Katie and I are what we call butter squirrels.
Squirrels with butterfly wings.
We're so cute.
Because we are creatures of joy and bouncing around seeking shiny things and acorns. And we like nuts.
We are, yes, pistachios in particular. But we want to know, Alex, what sort of creative creature are you?
For example, in our first episode, we determined that Dr. Hinton is a tiger with monarch butterfly wings. A butter tiger, I suppose.
Yeah, butter tiger sounds better.
Yeah, so she's a butter tiger, which makes sense. She's part of PepTalk's little family. And then when we spoke to Brandon at MCFC in our episode that came out in December, and we recorded live at MCFC, we determined that he is a meerkat cosplaying as an ocelot.
So,
Impressive.
what kind of creative creature are you?
I would say, and this is something I wanted to draw because this has actually come up in my head many times and I've dreamt of this.
Do it.
I called it a skyfin.
A
Cloudy sky dolphin.
Okay,
Okay,
so
that's too perfect.
sky dolphin. I am imagining with like hummingbird wings on a dolphin.
Sky.
It's like, no, it's like the dolphin's body is like what you would expect, but most of the fins are made of clouds.
Okay,
Yeah.
oh yes, Scott, make note of that. The sky
Noted.
dolphin.
This is giving Altaria vibes. I wonder why.
It's not my favorite Pokemon or anything.
It's definitely not her favorite Pokemon. Oh my gosh, I like your take better. So this dolphin, give me a vision. What color is this dolphin? Be any color you want.
It's probably gonna be my favorite color, which also, fun fact, I made a dolphin with this color. I was inspired to do that. Yellow.
I was hoping you'd say yellow.
Okay.
A yellow dolphin with cloud wings.
Or imagine, if you will, little wing, little fin mittens that are crocheted to look like clouds.
Oh, I love that.
Little crochet cloud mittens. I think that's
They
perfect.
stopped giving me ideas. Now I'm thinking about how I'm gonna actually make this.
You
No,
need
you need to make this, because
Yes.
one of the things that we do with the podcast is that we're drawing our cast of various guests as their creatures as part of our things that we're working on in the background of all these episodes. But I think we need to see your version of the cloud dolphin, the yellow dolphin wearing little cloud mittens.
Can I draw it too?
Yes,
I think I
Yay.
still have some more faux fur. I might be able to make this happen. I just need more yellow
Please.
yarn for that.
Well, luckily, your episode doesn't come out till January, so there may or may not be an in-progress shot of the dolphin come out.
This
But-
might need to go on social media too. This
Yeah.
might be worthy of a post.
Suffice it to say, there is secret squirrel business going on behind the scenes. Just
Dun,
wait.
dun, dun.
Just keep an eye out on our social media for updates on the cloud dolphin project. Dun dun dun.
I'm so excited.
And I'm just now imagining you have cloud creatures as part of your line that you have in your things, because
And someone's gonna love it. Multiple people are gonna love it. I love it.
yeah, that is awesome. So now that we've given you way more ideas for new lines of merchandise to start crocheting for next year, because you know our audience is going to start looking for the cloud dolphins and other cloud critters at your booth. The final thing that we have for the podcast is to ask Alex, where can our lovely listeners find you out in the wild and acquire squishy, lovely crochet plushies that they can snuggle?
Squish, squish.
You can find me on Instagram at chow.cozy. It's kind of difficult to do CC's Cozy Corner and get that to work, so I do that. I respond. That is basically where I respond for any commissions, any questions, post anything that I am crocheting, in the middle of crocheting, finished. Again, soon, hopefully, some art. I am also hoping 2026 to get back to streaming. I do hope I will have enough of a setup that I can start doing streams where I can record myself crochet or record my art process. But given my name, I'm a huge gamer. Come on over, twitch.tv/HeroChaosChow. I primarily just stream whatever I want. If you want to see the more competitive side of me, I stream a lot of Splatoon as well.
Awesome. And we will have links down in the description of the episode with where you can find all of Alex's wonderful stuff.
I also like that you are pacing yourself with your events. You're like getting the hang of it, taking your time. That's awesome. And I cannot wait to see all the events that you're going to do in 2026 now that you're really hitting the ground running with your...
I gotta pace myself. Crochet takes time.
That's
It
true.
does.
Very
It does.
true.
If there's ever a craft to teach you the qualities of patience, crochet is one of the ones that will teach you.
For sure.
Oh, that is the end of our episode. Once again, I'm Katie Silverwings,
I'm Allie D of Allie D Art.
and our lovely guest for this episode was...
Alex Logan of CC's Cozy Corner.
And we are so happy that y'all joined us for today's episode.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening and Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year, y'all, and see y'all next time. Bye. Katie from the future here with our end of the episode announcements for January 2026. We are so excited about all of the new guests we will be bringing to you this year. And if you have not already subscribed to this podcast on whichever platform you prefer to listen to your podcasts on, we encourage you to please subscribe and leave us a comment there to tell us where you're listening from, because we want to know our audience as we grow this podcast into something wonderful. We also, of course, have our fan club on our website at peptalkproductions.com/podcasts. The link is down in the description, where you can find out more about this podcast and sign up for our fan club, where you will get newsletter updates periodically throughout the year as we have new stuff going on. Our final January little announcement is that our wonderful guest for this episode, Alex Logan, and Allie and I will all be at an event at the end of February that we want to make sure y'all get on your calendars. We will be at the Mid-South Collectible Toy Show in Bartlett, which is part of the greater Memphis area, on Saturday, February 28th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for the Mid-South Collectible Toy Show. And we will be recording a live episode with a surprise guest while we're there. So if you would like to come and be part of our live audience, make sure you stop by the Mid-South Collectible Toy Show in Bartlett, Tennessee on Saturday, February 28th. We will have this listed up in the description as well, so that y'all can make sure to get it on your calendars. Thank you as always for all of your support for the podcast, and of course for liking, subscribing, and leaving us those delightful comments and reviews. I promise we do read them. And until next time, this is Katie from the future saying Happy New Year, and thank you for listening to the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast. The PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast is brought to you by PepTalk Productions, LLC, and PepTalk Creative Arts. This podcast and all of its content are copyright 2025 PepTalk Productions, LLC. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any other person, agency, company, or organization. PepTalk Productions, LLC, and the podcast hosts are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities resulting from the use of the information provided in this podcast. Do not rely on this content as medical, legal, or financial advice. Please consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific situation. This episode may contain sponsored content or affiliate links. No AI was used in the creation of the contents of this podcast. You can find out more about the PepTalk Productions, LLC catalog of books and services, as well as the PepTalk Creative Corner podcast by going to our website, www.peptalkproductionsllc.com. Thank you for listening.